Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kurtivada. In this video, we will see about canActivate guard in Angular 16. So here we will see an example. In that example, we'll try to learn how we are trying to log in with a token and how we will be protecting our dashboard screen. So we'll be having two screens, one is login and one is dashboard. So let me go here. Already I have the set of configuration for login and dashboard, and now the case is we need to create some set of UI for this. Let me go into login.html and let me create a div, and inside this div I just want to create a div, and inside this I want to create an input field where the input field is placeholder enter username. So I want to enter the username. Let me copy this div, put it over here and enter password. I'm not concentrating on any of the validation part, and now let me create a button, and this is something like login. So in this login, what I wanna do is click, and I want to call a method called as login, and let me go and create this login method over here. Save this and save this. Now here what I want to do is I want to navigate to other page. Let me consider every time whenever I'm clicking on this login button, I'm treating this as a valid credentials. So now let me create a constructor with a private and a router, and this router will have a router service. And now whenever the user clicks on login, this dot router dot navigate, I want to navigate to dash, and let me save this. When the user clicks on this, I want to store something in my local storage. So local storage dot, let me use a set item of, I want to set an item called as token, and this token value is something like a random value, mat dot random dot to string. I want to store in a format of string because local storage will accept only strings. Let me save this. Once it sets the local storage value, it just navigate to the dashboard. So this is a flow. So let me enter some value over here and here. Let me click on login. Now it went to dashboard. Let me go to inspect and just go into your application, and inside the application local storage you have a token. So this is fine. Now if I go into login now, and now let me remove this. In this case token does not exist, and he is able to activate or just able to navigate to dashboard page. So that is also wrong. If the token exists, then only that guy is a authorized person and I can log in. But in this case it is not the way. Here we don't have the token, but he is able to see the dashboard. That means if he try to move into dashboard by using an URL, he has to go into login itself. Based on the token, these two screens should be handled. That can be done by using one of the guard called as canActivate. So let's go and create the canActivate. I have explained how to create the canActivate guard in my previous videos. Please watch that for better understanding. Now let me create ng generate g for guard, and let me create auth as a guard, and I will just skip the test files. Hit enter. Now it will create a canActivate by hitting on enter, and by default it is creating a functional way. That is, from Angular 15 and 14 we are trying to use a functional, but if you don't want to use the functional, we can use a class by passing an option called as functional is equal to false. Even we will try to do one of the activate guard over there with the same logic. So now what I want to do is I want to write my logic over here. The logic is very simple. I'll have a const, and you need to get the storage value. Let me get the storage value, that is token, is equal to, now I can use local storage dot get item of, I want to get a token value. And now the case is there are two cases. If token exists, one case, else there is one more case, else this one. So now when the token exists, I want to go into dashboard and I want to allow the user. So let me use return. And now if the token does not exist, then he has to navigate to login. So let me get the service first. So now how to get the service? I can get the service like const router is equal to new, it's a router is a class. Let me pass the router and save this. Now I can use this router dot navigate of, I can navigate to login page if token does not exist, and I should not navigate anywhere else. So let me return false. So now when the user has the token, we are returning true. That means he is allowed to use that particular route. But if the token does not exist, in that case he has to navigate to login page without depending on any of the route or the current route. So now he is navigating to the login page. So now let me save this and use this auth guard for my dashboard, because I want to protect my dashboard route, not login route. So let me go into app routing, and inside this I want to protect this guy. So I can use something called as canActivate property. This is an array and this will receive one auth guard, and it's a function, or just you can use a reference for this. Let me save this. Now if this guard returns true, then I can access dashboard. If this guard returns false, then I can't access this dashboard. So now let me understand by using a console.log of token, and let me see the token value. Now let me save this, go back, and let me go into login first. Now it's not navigated. Inject must be all called from the injection context, such as a constructor, a factory function, a field initializer. Okay, now we got a problem with inject. So how to run this? So in that case, instead of creating a new keyword, I can just use const router. By using an inject method given by Angular, I can pass the router service so that that service can be injected into your function. So now I can use this router for navigation. Let me go here, and you are at login, and if you see the application, you don't have the token over here. And before going further to understand, let me create a HTML file with dashboard, and that contains a button. So let me use a logout button over here, and just let me use a click event to log out, and this helps us to log out the user and navigate to login page. Let me copy this and let me go into dashboard.ts. Here let me use a logout, and let me use a constructor over here, constructor private and router with router, and I can just use this router for navigation. This dot router dot navigate of, I want to navigate to login page, and save this. Before that, I want to show a confirmation. Const confirmation is equal to confirm with a message called as, or do you want to log out? And if my confirmation is true, then I can ask him to log out. Let me cut this and put it over here. Save this. This confirm is a window confirm, so it will return you true or false. Let me go here. Now let me go into application. Nothing is there. Let me enter some data. Here these fields are doing nothing, but just for our user interaction I kept this username and the password. Let me click on login. Now the token has been generated and it moved into dash. Now what I'll do is I'll try to use this dashboard again. So it's fine because we have the token now. Now let me try to go into login. So this case we need to handle. If the user clicks on login or any of the pre-authorized routes, then if he is already having a token, then it has to come back to the same route. So in that case, what I can do is, if I have the token, then I can return a true, and else it should be going into the login page. That's what we did. Now if the user enters into login page, then this is not getting worked out. So for that sake, let me use this auth guard even on the app routing for our login, because even at the login point of view I can use this canActivate. And let me save this, because whenever I move on to login, it will go into this auth guard and it will check whether this function is returning a true or false, because canActivate will always expect a boolean value whether it is true or false. Now if the token exists, it is returning true, but I want to know from which route we are coming from. So let me use a data. Now whenever the user clicks on login, it is going to login. That's fine. Now already you have the token, but if you don't have the token and if you try to go into dashboard, it should re-navigate to login page. So let's try that. Let me remove this and let me try to navigate directly without using any button clicks. Let me hit this, and if you see the console, token is null and it is re-navigated to the login. That means this authentication guard is not allowing to use your dashboard, because you are protecting your dashboard. If guard is returning true, then it will go. But when we are returning true, when we have the token, for example, I'm just giving Sai Kumar and hit login. Now it went to token and then it got the value. If the value exists, then we are returning true. Whenever this auth guard returns true, it will be allowing the user to go further. Otherwise, it will be in the same place. That is login. Now, how this flow happens from where to where. For example, we have an action in our login. So let me write one console over here. Console.log of login action. So inside the login action, and then you are navigating to dashboard. But before going to the constructor of a dashboard, it will go into authguard and it will check that authguard. That means this console. Let me write one more console for our understanding. Console.log of I am in authguard. And then if the guard is giving permission, then it will go into your dashboard.component.ts constructor. Let me go and write your constructor logic over here, dashboard, and save this. Let's check the flow. If you see here, when I reload this, it is going into I'm in authguard, then it is checking the token, then it is coming into the dashboard. In the same way, let me click on logout and went outside. Now I'm giving Sai and Kumar. Now I'm clicking on login. If you see, it went into login action, it went into I am in authguard, and then it went into token, and then it went to dashboard. And if you see the network or the application, you are able to see the token even after logout. Let me click on OK, then it went to logout, but the token is not cleared. So in that case, what I can do is, if the user confirms, then I'm removing all my items which are related to the token in my local storage. Remove item of token and then logout. So let me go and create again Kumar and hit login. Now it went logout. Okay, then token cleared. Now if I try to go and use our dashboard, it is in a protected route, so it went into authguard. When it saw token as null, we are returning false. That means it is not going into the dashboard constructor at all. So that means your DOM itself is not loaded with this guard. The same thing you can even apply by using class as well. So before Angular 14 and 15, we have something called as a class type of guards. Ng generate guard, and the guard name is auth hyphen class, and I want to use a functional with false. So then hyphen hyphen skip hyphen tests. So it can remove the test file and it will create a non-functional auth guard. That means a class type of auth guard. So we can select. Now I'm selecting canActivate. Now it has created auth class guard and it is having a canActivate interface. This interface is implemented and we can use this implemented interface, and if you see, it is deprecated. So in the future this may be removed. So for that sake, you can adapt or you can try to use our functional way of usage. Now we have the same logic over our auth guard. Let me go here. Just I'll copy this whole content and just go here and put it over here. Just use format. Now we can use non-injection process because I want to have this injection process inside the constructor. So let me go into the constructor and just inject this. That is nothing but private router and router. In the class we can inject something like this, but in the function we can inject by using inject method. So let me use this router by using this keyword and save this. And now let me inject this in our protected route. Let me go into app routing. Inside this app routing, instead of using a functional, I'll just use a canActivate of class. So let me import this and save this. Now it should work in the same way. Let me check. Go to the application. You don't have the token. Let me try to go into dashboard. Hit enter. It didn't went and came back to the login. Now let me give some names, Sai and Kumar, and let me click on login. It navigated with the token. Now I can use something like /dashboard again. It went to dashboard, and when I click on logout, okay, then logged out and the token has been removed. So this way you can handle your routes by using a functional auth guard and a class type of auth guard, whether it should be activated or not. And in the same way you can see the consoles also. I am in the auth guard, I am in the token, and I went into the dashboard. Once I click on logout, I came back. Let me show you once again. Sai and Kumar. When I click login, first it went to login action, then it went to guard, then it bought the token, and then it went to dashboard. If you don't have that token, then what will happen? Log out, okay, and go to your login URL and change it to dashboard, hit enter. It went into authguard, it went into token, but the token is null. That's why it didn't went into dashboard page. That's how we can protect our routes by using authguard. That is nothing but canActivate guard. And also we have something called as a route and state. Let's see what these routes and states are. Let me console this. Console.log of route. This is an activated route, the current route whatever you have, and console.log of state, the current state whatever this route is holding on. Let me go here and just go to your dashboard, or just give Sai and Kumar. Let me hit on login. It went here. You can see all the activated route related stuff. In this activated route you can get the resolvers by using the data property, query params, everything you can get in your activated route. And there is something called as router state snapshot. Whenever you want to know this next state of your application which we are moving on, then you can use this URL. That means we are going to dashboard. That's why this state is holding the route with the dashboard. In the same way, in your functional authguard also, it will hold the same route and the state, both are same. Let me copy this both and put it over here and just check. Save this and now go to app routing, and now let me remove this class guard and use functional guard. Save this, go here, just let me use a reload over here, and if you see here you got activated route snapshot, and then you got a router snapshot, that is state as well as activated route. So this is how you can pass the data and you can get the router data from your guards. Next, one more thing from the guards is, if you want to access any of the resolver data or a data property which is passed from your component, how to do that? So that case can be handled by using your auth guards and the data property of your routing. Let me go into app routing, and this is the guard which I am using. So let me pass a data object, and here I want to pass a role with admin. Save this, and if you want to access this data and the role, you can access it, and you can use multiple auth guards also. So for example, let me create ng generate and the guard, and the guard name is role guard, and skip hyphen tests, and go here, use functional, and I want to use a functional one, so let me use true and hit enter. Now canActivate. So we got a role guard. Let me go into role guard. So what this role guard should do is, if your value or the data of that role is admin, then only allow him. For example, I can go and use something like const role is equal to, I can get it from my route, that is route or data, directly by using data property. So now inside this data I have something called as role. So if my role is equivalent to admin, then I want to return true, else return false. So that means if the admin role exists in our data property, then only this can access. Now the case is I'm passing admin, so it should allow, but to utilize that we can use a comma separated, and I can use role guard and save this. So whenever auth guard and role guard are true, then only we can activate the dashboard component. Otherwise, if any one of these guard is false, it will not allow you to go further. Let's see that. Now auth guard will depend on the token, role guard will depend on the role whatever we are passing over here. So let me click on logout, and first case is I'm just going to dashboard. In this case it went back to the login. Why? Because it is going into your role guard and the admin value exists, but first whenever it is going into auth guard, then you don't have the token over there. So if you see the application, you don't have the token, but you have the role. In this case auth guard got failed and role guard got passed. Now the second scenario is I am logging in and hitting on login. Now if you see, you have the application along with the token, and you have the role which is admin. So both the cases are passed, auth guard with the token, role guard with the role. Let me change this role to super admin. So in this case, my role guard will fail and it should navigate directly to login. Let me go here, and now you can see it went to v16 but not for the login. Why? Because it is false, right? So whenever it is false, we have to handle it. Role guard, whenever it is false, I want to route that guy to login. So let me use a router, and let me use an inject of router and give semicolon, import this. Let me use const. Let me use this router.navigate of, let me pass an URL called as login. Whenever there is no role matching with admin, then we have to move that guy to login page. So now we have the token, but the role is different. So let me use a dashboard. It came back to login, and you can try n number of times until that role guard is admin. We cannot go further. This indicates our app routing is checking two cases. One is auth as well as role. So let me use admin now. Both will have a token and role. Then in that case, it has to navigate. Let me use Sai Kumar, and now when I click on login, it is having a token. Along with the token, it has the role as well. So that's how we are able to move from one page to another page by protecting the component by using its guards. Like this, you can write n number of guards. So it will always consider like an AND operator. If one guard fails, it will not even execute the further guards. So that is how you can check multiple guards, and if all the guards are returning true, then only you can go further. Otherwise, it will not go further and it will be in the same protected route. You will be in the previous route. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.